morning and welcome. This is the newspaper review come to you from Carnival Radio. My name is Joseph Oyukola. And here are the headlines. Nationwide protest. SGF ministers hold emergency meeting today. Labour plans talks with governors as National Assembly okays 70,000 wage. Federal government forged 2 trillion for Lagos Calabar orders. WAEC officials detained for challenging reps probe. Hardship, we don't support protest, says Lagos students. To begin the news this morning, the federal government has scheduled an emergency meeting for Wednesday, today morning, in response to a planned nationwide protest slated for August 1. This comes after President Bola Tinubu pleaded with the organizers to shelve the protest and give his administration more time to execute people-oriented programs. A circular shared with newsmen on Tuesday by sources with knowledge of the meeting indicated that all the ministers, the secretary to the government of the Federation, George Akume, and the special advisor to the president on policy and coordination, Adiza Bala Usman, information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, and former minister of youth and sport, Sunday Dari, were among those invited for the meeting. The circular, signed by the permanent secretary of the Cabinet Affairs Office, Richard Pelegwe, dated July 23, 2024, was titled Planned Nationwide Protest. The planned section is coming amid the clamor for nationwide protest from August 1 over the rising cost of living and economic hardship in the country, which has blamed on the removal of fuel subsidy, the floating of the naira, and the economic reforms implemented by the Tinubu administration. The planned demonstration, inspired by the recent Kenya protest, has gained traction on social media, where it is trending under the hashtag End Bad Governance, Tinubu Must Go, and Revolution 2024. However, the presidency and the police authorities called on youth to abandon the plan, describing it an ill-advised. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, on Tuesday conveyed the president's plea to Nigerians in an interview with the State House correspondent after a meeting with Tinubu. Idris said the president took the protesters' grievances seriously and was committed to ensuring a better future for Nigeria. He mentioned the speedy passage of the National Minimum Wage Bill by the National Assembly and the recent approval and delivery of grains to state governments as evidence of the president's commitment to the welfare of Nigerians. For more details, please visit Punch newspaper. Nationwide protest. SGF ministers hold emergency meeting today. Meanwhile, labor unions in the country say they will schedule meetings with the state government as part of efforts to ensure that they comply with the 2024 National Minimum Wage Amendment Act Bill, which on Tuesday empowered Nigerian workers to earn at least 70,000 on a monthly basis. The Senate on Tuesday at plenary passed the 2024 National Minimum Wage Amendment Act Bill after President Bola Tinubu had transmitted the new wage bill to both chambers of the National Assembly, seeking expeditious support for the lawmakers for its passage. The Senate and House of Representatives passed the minimum wage bill. The bill passed the first President Tinubu's request, second, debate on general principles, and third readings on Tuesday, all within an hour, in the upper and lower legislative chambers. The new bill replaces the National Minimum Wage Act No. 8, 2019, which approved 30,000 minimum wage with 5 years to negotiate a new wage. The new wage review period has now been reduced to 3 years following Tuesday's legislation. While leading a debate on the bill, Okoyemi Bamidele, Majority Leader of the Senate, said 70,000 was agreed upon by all the parties after negotiations. Chief Whip of the Senate, Tahil Maguno, said there was the need to review the minimum wage to align with economic realities. No senator opposed the bill during its consideration by the Committee of the Whole. The senators also unanimously approved that the bill be read for the third time and passed when it is put to voice vote by Senate President Godswill Akpabio. The legislation gives legal backing to the 70,000 minimum wage recently approved by the President after weeks of a face-off with neighbor unions over a new minimum wage. The Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress had both threatened a nationwide strike in the event of the failure of the federal government to approve a new minimum wage for workers. The NLC and TUC proposed 494,000 as the new monthly national minimum wage, citing inflation and prevailing economic hardship in the country. The unions, in several statements, lamented the hardship in the country, fueled by the removal of subsidy from the premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, and the rising cost of goods and services. But the unions later reduced the amount to 250,000 after several meetings with the presidency. On June 7, the federal government increased its offer for the new minimum wage for workers from 60,000 to 62,000, but the unions insisted on 250,000. For more details, please visit Punch newspaper. Labour plans talks with governors as National Assembly okays 70,000 wage. In the meantime, the National Assembly has passed the 6.2 trillion budget amendment bill for the third reading, as the federal government is to spend about 2 trillion on the Lagos-Calabar Highway and other road projects. The bill was passed after the chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriation, Olamide Adeola, APC, Ogun West, presented his committee's report on the 2024 Appropriation Amendment Bill. On July 17, 2024, President Bola Tinubu transmitted to the Senate a bill for an act to amend the Appropriation Act 2024 to provide for the sum of 6.2 trillion with 3.2 trillion for capital expenditure and 3 trillion for recurrent expenditure. The document showed that 700 billion will be used for the country's coastal road that will run from Lagos to Calabar, traversing Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, Delta, Bayelsa, Port Harcourt, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River State. The Port Harcourt to Maiduguri railway line would go up 530 billion naira, as the line would pass through Abia, Enugu, Ebonyi, Anambra, Benue, Nasarawa, Plateau, Kaduna, Bauchi, Gombe, Yobe, and Borno. The appropriation will also take care of the Badagry of Tinkan Port, Lekki Port, Djibouti, and Kajola. Also, the African Trans-Sahara Highway to Transfers Benue, Kogi, Nasarawa, Abuja, so take the sum of 200 billion. Another component in the bill also stated that the water, irrigation, and dam development project, among others, would take 349 billion naira. The livestock development program was awarded 75 billion naira. During the presentation of the bill, Lamleka said the bill was read the first and second time and referred to the Committee on Appropriation for further legislative action. For more details, please visit the Nation newspaper. Federal government for 2 trillion for Lagos Calabar orders. In another development, four officials of the West African Examination Council were on Tuesday arrested by men of the Nigerian Police Force on the orders of the House of Representatives Committee on Basic Examination Bodies. The arrested officials were Amos Dangote, head of National Office, WAEC Nigeria, who represented the Registrar, Senior Deputy Registrar, Angos Okeleze, Acting Director of Finance, Victor Odu, and Deputy Director of Finance, Segun Jerume. The arrest followed a motion moved by a member of the committee, Uchenna Okonkwo, after the officials failed to give satisfactory responses to inquiries posed by the panel. During the investigative hearing, the WAEC officials were engaged in an argument with the lawmakers as Dangote stated that the examination board was not an agency of government and hence not accountable to the parliament. However, the lawmakers insisted that WAEC Nigeria was a creation of an heart of the National Assembly, hence must render account to the parliament, who are the representatives of the people. The motion was seconded by the member representing Brass Nebe Federal Constituency Oyo State, Maria Ebikele. Despite a protest by the WAEC officials, they were led away by the sergeant at arms of the National Assembly and detained for about 15 minutes. However, after a brief closed-door section, the committee ordered their release and mandated them to go home and prepare for another appearance. The committee chairman, Ofoji Opoku, urged them to come along with the audited statement of account of the examination body from 2018 to 2024 at a date that will be communicated. For more details, please visit Vanguard newspaper. WAEC officials detained for challenging reps probe. In another news, students of tertiary institutions in Oyo State have disclosed their stand on the planned nationwide protest expected to commence on August 1. Newsmen report that Nigerians, particularly youths, have vowed to stage mass protests across the nation, beginning from August 1 to August 10 to draw the attention of the government to the plight of the citizen. According to the organizers, the protesters are expected to converge at state government houses across the country at the National Assembly complex in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, to express their anger over the hardship in Nigeria. However, Mr. Alimi Lekan Idris, President, National Association of Lagos State Students, NUNA, said on Tuesday that the students will not join the protest. Addressing the journalists at a press conference held at the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, College of Medicine, Ikeja, Mr. Alimi urged Nigerians youth to embrace dialogue and give space for the government to do the needful. For more details, please visit Daily Post newspaper. Hardship, we don't support protest. Lagos students. To bring the newspaper review this morning to a close, here is a recap of headlines. Nationwide protest. SGF ministers hold emergency meeting today. Labour plans talks with governors as National Assembly UK 70,000 wage. Federal government votes 2 trillion for Lagos Calabar orders. WAEC officials detained for challenging reps probe. Hardship, we don't support protest. Lagos students. And with that, we have come to the end of newspaper review. Thank you for joining us. My name remains Joseph Hoyekala. Good morning.